Today I'm starting off a new series called Chat Among Crafters, where I'll be inviting fellow crafters and having a non-formal chat with them, all about crafting. We will get insights as to who they are, how they got started, and much more. So let's get started. Hello, gifted crafters. For those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Nancy with GiftsHQ. To my wonderful subscribers out there, as always, I truly appreciate you and welcome back. This is our very first Chat Among Crafters, and I have a very special guest joining us. This person has been crafting for as long as I know. You might have briefly seen her on another YouTube channel called Boricua Sewing and Crafts. She's been sewing for decades, but her true passion is crocheting. Over the years, she's made a vast number of items of different patterns, of which she mostly gives away as gifts. And since Mother's Day is around the corner, my honor to present to you my original crafter and love of my life, my mom, Carmen Mercado.
Hi.
Hi. So before we go any further, I just want to thank you for being on my channel, but I also want to present to you a special gift.
Thank you.
I might be Nancy with GiftsHQ, but you are the ultimate and official GiftsHQ mom, so it would only be fitting to present to you your apron. Now let's take a look at some of the creations you've made over the years to give everyone a sense of your style. This is another bedspread that my mom made. I actually used this for my wedding. It has really unique designs. It's absolutely gorgeous. I truly love this one. It is definitely something that I will pass down. So this was another bedspread crochet that my mom made. It was made for my daughter. This was her favorite color at the time, and they are absolutely beautiful. Look at the ends of the bedspread. That took a lot of time and patience to complete. The flowers are also absolutely gorgeous. This is another crocheted bedspread that my mom made for me with really unique designs. I absolutely love the way this came out. It has really cute ends and it's absolutely gorgeous. So English was not your first language, and that must have been very difficult. So what we're going to do is I'll ask her the questions in English and she'll just respond to me in Spanish, and I'll try to translate as best as I can. So the first question we have is where did you grow up?
Yo nací en Puerto Rico, me crié en Puerto Rico, vine a Nueva York a los 16 años.
Okay, so at 16 years old, she grew up in Puerto Rico, and at 16 years old, she came over to the United States. Wow, that must have been really difficult to come over to the U.S.
En el tiempo que nosotros vinimos, el español no se oía tanto. Y el inglés que yo cogí fue más o menos el que yo oía en la calle, con las amistades.
Okay.
Luego me fui a la escuela, estuve un año y entonces aprendí un poco, pero tuve que salirme de la escuela para atender a mi mamá.
Okay, so the way she really picked up English was really not in school with books or anything. It was really learning from hearing other people speak English and with your friends and just being able to learn the language that way.
Exacto.
Wow, that's amazing. And you started working at a young age so that you can help your family.
Yes, sí, porque En aquel tiempo los trabajos eran muy diferentes y entonces estaba todo más barato, pero no pagaban tan bueno.
Right. It was very difficult at that time. Back at that time, the pay was not really high, so it was very difficult and little money. So she had to go to work to contribute. So that's honorable.
Sí, y entonces había mucha gente ya de edad, como de 40, 30 años, y yo era muy joven. Y él hablaba conmigo para que ayudara a la demás gente. Y él me decía las cosas en inglés para que yo le traduciera a las personas.
Oh, wow. So she got pretty fluent in her translation,
Yes.
English and Spanish. So at her job that she was working at that time, she was helping to translate with other coworkers in that factory. So that's pretty amazing. And, how long were you working there? ¿Cuántos años?
Like 8 years.
Wow. And that was sewing?
Sewing machine, yeah. Yo siempre estaba ayudándole a las muchachas, a la señora, y le decía lo que el boss quería que ellas hicieran. Y yo le decía, ¿ves?
Okay.
Y entonces ellas continuaban su trabajo.
So you would translate what the boss was saying, what he wanted them to sew. She would translate it to all the other coworkers, and they would go ahead and start sewing any of the projects that they were looking to do for that day. So that's and it was pretty hard, huh?
Yeah.
Sewing all day long. That's pretty rough.
Sí. Y de ahí, bueno, pues me casé y entonces yo seguí trabajando, pero yo miraba a la gente haciendo los hilos, los crochets.
Okay, so once you got married, then that's when you started getting more interested in crocheting.
Sí.
Okay.
Y
wow.
Empezaba a mirar y yo decía, ¿cómo será eso? Y yo era mirándola y cogí mi hilo y empezaba a coser. Y yo dije, eso lo voy a aprender yo.
Wow, so she really learned how to crochet by just watching other people. So it wasn't any books or any classes or anything that you were taking. You were really just watching others, learning, and then trying it out yourself.
Sí.
And today she's done, I can't tell you how many projects she has done. We have a few of them here, the ones that she's gifted to me. I'm showing those as well. We have a beautiful bedspread that she's made behind us. And there's just so much more to show you. So I'm going to try to fit it in for all you guys so you guys can see all the wonderful projects that can be done with crocheting. So which ones of all of the threads that we have, and we have quite a few here. I have put out a few examples of different ones. They have number 10, which are kind of like a medium weight. A lot of people use those for projects. And then they have a very fine ones, which I think I have down here on the end, which is a 30, which is super fine. So of all of the threads that we have out here, which one is your favorite?
Bueno,
¿Cuál te gusta
lo más que me gusta es el blanco y el off-white.
Okay, so like a beige or a white. Okay, so beige and white are her favorite colors. And I actually started doing one myself in yellow and white.
Eso está muy bonito, sí. Me gusta el tejido en lana.
I'm learning as well.
Sí, me gusta el tejido en lana también, pero mi favorito es este.
Okay, so this is actually your favorite type of thread, and these are one of the ones here. This is a número 10.
Sí,
so this is
10.
a number 10 thread, which is kind of like a light to medium, I believe. So this is just something that she's working on right now. And it's just, ¿qué va a ser esto?
Esto pienso hacer como
a table runner. A table runner. Okay.
A table runner.
She's making a table runner with this. So this would be pretty neat. Okay. And
Sí.
so there's all kinds of different ways that you can learn crocheting. I have a few books that I purchased. One says teach yourself visually. And this is a second edition. I actually really like this book. It has a lot of different pictures on it, and it seems to be pretty easy to follow. So this is one way that you can learn how to crochet. Just get one of those books that have a lot of pictures in it, and it really does help. They do have others if you're just looking for a pattern. This one is all for baby, and this one just really has a lot of the instructions on the side and a picture of the actual project. So not so much step-by-step on this one. So I'd say this one is about a little bit more of an advanced version than this one. But like my mom said, she actually learned just from watching others. So I'm going to be doing a lot more watching of her when she's doing her crochets, even though she crochets pretty fast, but I'll get there, right? So one of the other things that we want to look at are the different types of crochet hooks. And there are so many that are out there. So this is just one sample set that I purchased. And it has crochet hooks of all different sizes. And there are other types that you can get. Some are actually very inexpensive. I actually saw these at the Dollar Tree. And these are just plastic crochet hooks. They're not the best quality, but if you're just starting, this actually may work for you to be able to start working on that project. Now, you have a preferred brand, right?
Yes.
And this is the Clover Steel Crochet Hook Set. And why do you like this one so much?
I like the yellow one, the one I have.
This one here?
Sí.
Okay.
That's my favorite. Because that is number 10.
And why? ¿Por qué te gusta?
Right. Me gusta porque no me aduerme el dedo. Según yo uso el dedo, cojo el hilo, por ejemplo, ¿ves? Coges así. Y entonces eso, pues es así y estás usando mucho el dedo. Y como no se puede mover mucho el dedo, entonces se duerme con el otro que
So this is actually, this is a pretty good brand. The reason why she likes this brand is because it doesn't hurt her hands. And when you crochet for long periods of time, these standard aluminum ones or plastic ones sometimes can really hurt a little bit there. So if you do long periods of times of crocheting, she actually enjoys the Clover brand because the actual material that is around the hook provides a little bit of support for your fingers so her hands don't hurt as much. So for those of you that have issues, maybe a little arthritis, maybe it's just your hands start to hurt, you may want to look into this. This actually works for her. I don't mind using these, but I probably will invest in these sometime in the future. So now we want to ask, how old was she when she first started crocheting and what was her first project? So, ¿cuál fue el primer proyecto que hiciste y qué era la edad que tenía?
Yo tenía ya como 18 años ya y empecé a hacer los pañitos pequeños, redondos.
So 18 años tenía?
Sí.
So she was 18 years old and her first crochet project were the little dollies that you put on the table. Oh, wow. ¿Y cuánto tiempo te cogió para hacer eso? How long did it take?
Depende con el tamaño que yo lo quería.
So it kind of depends on the project that you're making, if you want it to be longer or not. So I guess it kind of just varies. Wow. So have you made any type of projects that are like for the bed or anything like that?
Sí.
Okay.
Cuando me iba a casar, empecé a hacer la corcha de mi boda.
Oh, wow. So when she was going to get married, one of the first projects that she has was making a bedspread for her bed. Wow, that's amazing. And let's take a look at that one. This bedspread was crocheted over 56 years ago. It is absolutely amazing. My mom was able to finish this with the help of her sister. Look at all the vibrant colors. Isn't it absolutely beautiful? So that was absolutely beautiful. So what would you say was the hardest one? ¿Cuál fue el más difícil que hiciste?
Lo más difícil que se me hizo fue hacer los manteles de mesa.
So the tablecloths, the table spreads, the ones for the table are the hardest, you think?
Sí.
¿Y por qué? Why?
Bueno, porque yo lo más que me salía era cuadrado.
Okay.
Y a veces las mesas vienen como redondas.
Ah, yeah, that can be pretty tricky. So she finds it to be the hardest is because she's used to making things that are squared. So those are a little bit easier to make, but most dining room tables are oval or they're round. So it makes it a little bit more difficult. So yeah, that must have been kind of hard to do. Wow.
Sí.
Yeah. Okay. So now let's talk about mistakes because we know we all make them. So when you make a mistake, what do you do? Is it really hard? Do you rip it out, the whole thing, start all over? Like,
sí.
How do you handle mistakes? Is there a way to fix it without ripping the whole thing out? Like,
no.
Cuando hace algo equivocado, ¿cómo tú lo
Por
arreglas?
eso siempre tengo estas cositas.
So these are ¿cómo se llaman esto?
Ya me olvido.
So these are stitch markers.
Yeah.
So, okay, so these
Tú lo
help
pones
you.
así,
Okay.
para que entonces tú vayas contando y así no se haces el mistake.
Oh. So she uses stitch markers, and you can kind of get that. And I'll see if you can see this a little bit better. So these are available pretty much in every crafts store. You can get them at Joann's, Walmart, Target. These are stitch markers, and they do help you when you're counting your stitches. So she finds this to be a big help. And I actually do use that as well when I'm doing my crocheting. If you're counting your stitches, it really helps you to kind of keep track because we all know that we get distracted. So there's always something going on, and this really does help you keep you on track.
Por ejemplo, este va a ser un running.
Table runner. So this is going to be a table runner. Okay.
Sí. Tú tienes que saber contar para que el cuadro te salga bien.
Okay.
Porque si tú no cuentas bien, el cuadro no te sale bien.
Okay, so in this specific design, she's making squares. So you have to really be on point when you are counting your stitches. Otherwise, the square will come out all kind of lopsided and stuff. So in order to get it to come out really sharp, you have to count your stitches and make sure that you're on point on that. That's great.
Yeah.
So if you make a mistake, do you pull the whole thing out?
You have to.
You have to pull the whole thing out. Okay.
Porque si no te sale el cuadro. Tú ves que esto es un cuadrito.
So yeah, if you do make a mistake, then she does pull the whole thing out. Otherwise, the square just doesn't work. So that's just something you'll have to do is just pull the whole thing out and then start over again.
Empiezo otra vez de nuevo.
Okay.
Por eso te coge mucho tiempo.
So let me ask you something else. So have you done any other crocheting that's for like special projects like weddings, baby showers, and other things like that? Awesome. Oh, you've done a lot of those.
Lo tengo. El corazón donde llevan los aros, la novia a la iglesia cuando se van a
so one of the
casar.
things that you special item that she does is the heart-shaped crochet, and this is usually for weddings where the ring bearer will put the rings on and take them to the altar for weddings.
Sí.
So that's absolutely gorgeous, and there's so many other projects that she's made for all kinds of special occasions. So let's take a look at those. This is what we used for my wedding, and the ring bearer held this as we walked down the aisle. Absolutely gorgeous. So now we've moved over to the dining room area, and what we'd like to do is take a look at some of the creations that she's made for the dining room. But before we do that, I want to go ahead and show you guys a book that's called Cross Stitch Dictionary. And I found this book to be pretty helpful. It is by Sarah Hazel, and it seems to have a lot of the stitches, and a lot of them are basic stitches. You have some specialty ones, and that has helped me to try to figure out all of the items and creations, all the stitches that she used for all of these projects. So right now she is crocheting, she's doing a double crochet and a small mesh, which are two of the items I was able to find in the book. And since she learned a lot of the stuff just by watching other people, she really doesn't know the names of some of the stitches. So I was able to look up pictures from this book, from the projects that she's created, and figured out what type of stitch they are called. And then I'm able to just try to recreate it with the instructions, and also, of course, watching her do it. So I thought that that was pretty good. And I think it's a useful tool for anyone out there that's learning to crochet. So is this the table runner that you're looking to do now?
Estoy haciendo los tupiditos. Ahora empiezo a hacer un cuadrito. Y son 4 cuadritos. Luego hago 3, 2 y 1 para terminar el cuadrito completo, que viene siendo así como el primero.
Okay, so this is the one that she's making, is actually the one that has the little squares, or they look like diamonds because she's tilted them. So she's using the small mesh in these areas here, and then she's got double crochet, which makes up the squares. So pretty cute design. Of course, you can always turn the squares however you'd like. So you can take the 2 different stitching methods and do a ton of different creations just by changing the alignment of the square. So that's really amazing that you can just take a couple of stitch techniques and make it into 20 different projects just using the same 2 stitches. So that's pretty neat. So let's take a look at some of the projects that she's made for the dining room. So this tablecloth was made about 20 years ago at least. She really couldn't remember the date exactly, but there's a lot of detail on this, a lot of double crochets, as well as a really pretty pattern. You have that triangle look going across, really nice design, and it's just a lovely addition to our dining room area. So here is another one that we're looking at that was done many years ago. This was a more complex pattern, and it did take a lot more thread than some of the other ones that she's done in the past. These have some patterns that look like little clovers, and it has all kinds of different designs and open knits as well as closed knit stitches. So a little more complex, but absolutely beautiful. This crochet tablecloth is a newer one that my mom made for me. And this one has a design of crosses inside a diamond, and it has some loose knits as well as double knit crochets in there. So it's a lot of different designs going on. Absolutely gorgeous. You can put a cloth with some color underneath it that'll make it pop, but it's absolutely beautiful if you wanted to just display it on its own. This crochet table runner was for Christmas, so it has a little bit of a touch of green on it. And it's just a simple design with some open mesh and some blocked designs on it. I think it's really pretty, and it was great for the holiday season. This again is a newer table runner, and I love the edges. Has a little bit of that bubble type of pattern. I think it's really cute. I just wanted to show you the edges of the table runner so you could get a quick look at the actual bubbles that are on here. So I love this. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's a great finish to any table runner that you may have. Okay, so this is a recent dolly that was made. It is round, something you can put on the table and put a nice centerpiece on. I would say that this was a medium to complex design. This is another small version of a dolly that didn't take too much time, but is very quick to make and simple. Absolutely gorgeous. Will make a great addition to anyone's table. Here's another small dolly that was done with some really fun colors to kind of brighten up any room. There's another dolly that has the yellow thread. She has this as one of her favorite colors. I think it's really pretty, especially for the spring or summertime look. Here's a small dolly, small enough to fit any table. Really, really adorable, and I love the edges of it. So you are truly a gifted crafter. So what do you think about both of your daughters having their own YouTube channel?
Wow, me siento orgullosa de que las dos hijas mías han aprendido todos estos proyectos que yo le sé. Y en la verdad, ellas han aprendido ellas mismas. No es que yo se lo he enseñado. Y me siento orgullosa, sí.
So she is very proud to have two daughters that have learned their craft and doing their own crafting videos on YouTube. And she's very proud about that. And we are proud of you too, Mom. So it's just amazing how we've all become this big crafting family. Everyone now has their own craft. We've learned so much and continue to learn every day through videos, books, and just watching fellow crafters like my mom. Well, I've had an amazing time, and thank you, Mom, for sharing all of your projects with us. These items will be treasured for many years to come. Thank you, Mom, for all that you do. I will always treasure this. And for all of you tuning in, I hope you enjoyed our very first Chat Among Crafters series. But please don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and set that bell notification so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. For all of the moms out there, we hope you have a very happy Mother's Day. Thank you all for tuning in and for your support. I hope to be crafting with you soon. Bye.